It was a stormy evening when 12-year-old Danny found himself alone in his family's old, creaky house. His parents had gone out for the night, leaving him to fend for himself. The wind howled outside, rattling the windows, and the rain pounded against the roof like 1,000 tiny drums. The power had flickered out about an hour ago, plunging the house into darkness. The only light came from the small flashlight Danny held in his trembling hand. Danny wasn't usually scared of the dark, but something about this night felt different. The house, built over a century ago, had always had a strange aura, with its narrow hallways, creaking floors, and the old locked attic that his parents had forbidden him from entering. But tonight, Danny felt drawn to it. He had heard the stories, the whispered rumors from the neighborhood kids about strange noises, shadows moving in the windows when no one was home, and the unexplained cold spots that seemed to follow you around the house. Danny had always brushed them off as just that, stories. But as the wind continued to howl and the shadows seemed to deepen around him, those tales began to feel all too real. It started with a noise, a soft, almost imperceptible, scratching sound, like something small and sharp dragging across wood. It was faint at first, barely audible over the storm outside. Danny stopped in his tracks, his heart skipping a beat. He listened carefully, trying to pinpoint the source of the sound. It seemed to be coming from above, from the attic. Danny's heart pounded in his chest as he pointed the flashlight toward the ceiling. The sound was persistent, growing louder, and with it, the uneasy feeling in his stomach intensified. He tried to tell himself it was just the wind, maybe a tree branch scraping against the house, but deep down, he knew it was something else. The attic had always been off limits, a place his parents warned him to stay away from. "It's dangerous up there," they would say, full of old junk, sharp nails, and who knows what else. But tonight, the attic felt like it was calling to him. He couldn't explain it, but the pull was strong, almost irresistible. With a mix of fear and curiosity, Danny found himself moving toward the narrow staircase that led to the attic. The door at the top was always locked, but as he approached, he noticed something strange. The door was slightly ajar, a thin sliver of darkness visible between the frame and the door itself. His parents had never left it open before. Had they forgotten to lock it? Or had something, or someone, opened it? Danny hesitated at the bottom of the stairs, his flashlight beam trembling as it pointed up into the blackness. Every instinct told him to turn back, to run downstairs and wait for his parents to come home. But the scratching sound was louder now, more insistent, and he felt that inexplicable pull drawing him upward. Taking a deep breath, Danny placed one foot on the first step, then another. The stairs creaked loudly under his weight, each sound echoing through the silent house. As he climbed, the air grew colder, and the faint smell of dust and old wood filled his nostrils. His hand shook as he reached out to push the attic door open further, revealing the dark, narrow space beyond. The scratching noise stopped abruptly as the door swung open, replaced by an eerie silence that pressed in on him from all sides. The flashlight beam cut through the darkness, revealing a large, shadowy room filled with old furniture covered in white sheets, boxes stacked haphazardly, and cobwebs hanging from the rafters. In the center of the room was an old wooden rocking chair, slowly creaking back and forth, though no one was sitting in it. Danny's breath caught in his throat as he stepped into the attic. The air was thick with dust, and the cold seemed to seep into his bones. He scanned the room, the flashlight beam sweeping across the shadowy shapes of forgotten things. The attic was silent now, but the oppressive feeling of being watched was overwhelming. He took a step forward, and that's when he noticed it. A faint outline in the darkness, crouched in the far corner of the attic, just beyond the reach of his flashlight.